If you love that HTC One look and feel, but you want to pack that metal build quality into something a little bit smaller, the HTC One Mini could be the device for you. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and while it looks a lot like the HTC One, it packs a different set of specifications, including a 1.4 GHz Snapdragon 400 CPU, a 4.3-inch display, and a 4 ultra-pixel camera. Can this thing compete with the Galaxy S4 Mini, and is this what you want over the HTC One? We'll find out in the full unboxing of the HTC One Mini. It's in a nondescript box, yes, but what it is the HTC One Mini here in PhoneDog West offices. It's in Dallas, rocking and braving the heat. Actually, it's not really hot this week in Dallas. It's only in the high 90s, which for us is not bad. But here's the HTC One Mini. Looks a lot like the HTC One, and I should point out this is not going to be the official retail packaging. As it comes out, you'll probably see packaging, at least my guess is, you'll see packaging very similar to the HTC One, kind of that more rectangular or square box design, and with the goodies in the box as well. But you get some goodies down here in the box, I should say, including, take a look here, boom, earbuds. And of course the typical USB cable, all in HTC's cornstarch bags, not badges, which is biodegradable, which is really nice. HTC AC adapter module. And here's the device itself, HTC One Mini. Let's do a quick spec rundown here. 1.4 GHz Snapdragon 400 CPU, that's a dual-core CPU. 4 ultra-pixel camera here, same look and feel as the HTC One. And just to give you a comparison of how they look side by side, here's the HTC One Mini versus the HTC One. And you can see the boom sound speakers on the front as well. Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean out of the box with HTC Sense version 5. You've got a front-facing camera like you do over here. And again, design language almost identical to the HTC One. Again, forgive me, my voice probably sounds terrible. I'm recovering from a cold and it just does not seem to want to go away. So we'll power this up and take a look. But before we do that, let's talk about some of the differences here. And I can show you one of the key ones, the volume rocker on the right side. You can see the volume rocker's changed. They've gotten rid of the universal button here for both up and down, and the universal bar. They've opted for 2 buttons, very iPhone-esque look and feel here. And one of the reasons why, my guess is why they did this, they said they did this based on customer feedback. My guess is because it actually is pretty hard to press the up and down buttons at times. And for me, I actually dropped one of my HTC Ones and dented it right here. And from that point, I couldn't use the volume rocker at all. So that HTC One is out of commission. But really a nice device, fits well in the hand. Take a look at the travel here as opposed to the HTC One. So a smaller display, but what I like about this is even though it's the smaller mini version, it skimps on the specs a little bit, only has 1 GB of RAM. Only has 16 gigabytes of internal storage versus 32 as a starting point, but still love this build quality. You still get a nice metal build quality here. Boom, boom, boom. You can see right there. Excuse me, and we'll power it up and take a look at this. Micro USB charging port on the bottom, 3.5mm headphone jack up top, power button, and we'll power this up and take a look at what you get on the actual device itself. This is an unlocked device. If and when this ever comes to the United States, you'll obviously have carrier installed bloatware on this device, so keep that in mind. But right now, this is an unlocked unit. HTC loading up right now. HTC One, it does not say One Mini on the startup animation sequence, which is kind of interesting. I would expect it to say One Mini, much like Samsung's devices do, and obviously LG's do. Usually they'll identify the exact device by name. Now, before we get too far into this, I want to thank our partners at Best Buy Mobile because they give us free devices that we turn around and give to you for free at instantwin.phonedog.com. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They'll get your email, your web, your contacts set up. So while you can't get a One Mini just yet, when you get its bigger brother, they'll make sure you walk out the door working and you can use your device with boom sound and Zoe's and all that stuff, thanks to the good boys and girls at Best Buy Mobile. So we'll start up right here, English United Kingdom. We're going to switch this to English United States. And we'll go down here and say United States. Okay. And take a look at the HTC One Mini. Start this sucker up. Next, 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 next. I'm trying to figure out how annoying I can say next. There we go, and it's starting up right now. So again, micro SIM card slot over here on the right. So design language very similar to the HTC One, just a little bit different, obviously, in the specifications department. Now, I'm interested to see, as I test this over the course of a couple of days or weeks, how that 1 GB of RAM plays a role here. Does it really slow it down? Because in the past, devices like the HTC One X, 1 GB of RAM has been a shortfall as a result, of it being kind of an intensive user interface. Sense 5 being pretty intensive here. We'll go into menu and take a look here and see some of the differences. Alphabetical, we'll throw it over there so you can see it. I prefer to do the grid size as 4 by 5. Boom. There we go, 14:11. That is not what time it is. It is not 2:11 in the afternoon, but that's okay. We'll get a SIM card in this and take a look at here in just a bit. But overall, the look and feel here very similar, though I will say this is running Android 4.2.2. So much like the Butterfly S that we unboxed yesterday, you can see the overall look and feel very similar here. You've got your shortcuts as a result of Android 4.2. I can switch back and forth between those. And then when I want to go into settings, I can click right here and access all of my settings. So overall, menu interface looks almost identical to the HTC Butterfly S, which is also running Android 4.2.2 out of the box. I can show the battery level here as well. Really nice to see a mini device that still preserves stuff like a nice metal build quality, that 4 ultra pixel camera, and you still get the goodies on the camera, including HTC Zoe, though you do lose some of the autofocus stuff. You do get HTC Zoe right there out of the box, and you can access this and use it for some of those Zoes and some of those Zoe moments, which is really awesome all around. So 5 home screens here, including Blink Feed, which is pre-installed out of the box, along with Sense 5. And we can take a look at the browser here just to see how it looks from a screen size perspective. You can see the difference here between this, and then I'll show you the browser over on the HTC One just for comparison purposes. So you can see the screen size difference here. And you can see that there is a noticeable screen size difference. And obviously, these feel different in the hand as well. This one fits far better in the hand than the HTC One. Not saying that this is a huge device by any stretch of the imagination, but still the travel comparison, there's what you're getting thumb-wise. And granted, I have really abnormally long thumbs, but you get where I'm coming from. And then obviously, web page not available because I don't have a SIM card in this. But you can see press and holding home accesses Google Now, double tap, accesses my recent application. So really a run-of-the-mill experience here in comparison to current HTC devices, the One with 4.2, the Butterfly S with 4.2. But overall, it seems pretty zippy despite only having 1 GB of RAM. Everything seems pretty speedy. I'm assuming HTC's optimized the software nicely. You still get the HTC keyboard here. Portrait to landscape nice and fast. So despite having that Snapdragon 400 CPU and despite having 1 GB of RAM versus 2 GB and a quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU, still pretty speedy all around. We'll compare it in the full review and subsequent dogfights to the HTC One and HTC's other lineup of products. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for more on the HTC One Mini. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. Let me know what you want to see from this device. If I can take any pictures that you'd like to see or talk more about a particular feature, I'd love to hear from you because you know what? You're the group that drives us. You're the group that gets us up in the morning. You're the group that reads our site. You're the most important to me. I want to make sure that all your questions are answered and covered, so be sure to reach out to me at Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron and say, hey, Aaron, cover this, please. I mean, you don't have to say it just like that, but you get my point. Come on out, reach out to me on Twitter, and let me know what you want to see. Thanks so much for watching. More to come on the HTC One. I can't talk and type at the same time. Hey there, how are you doing? I also want to know how you're doing. Keep it locked in the site for more on the HTC One Mini on PhoneDog.com. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.